You guys all saw my last Black Ops 4 video. I had fun playing. I won. I didn't do terrible. And despite my mistakes, and despite some frustrating deaths, I edited some of them out because I said, like, racial slurs when they happened. It wasn't directed at anybody, I was just mad. The game made me mad. It wasn't the black one. Anyway, I had fun, and that's why you're seeing that same gameplay here again, to further my point that I'm not prestiging in Black Ops 4 anymore. Now this might change. It's probably not going to change. I can't even go there. If it does change, I'll let you guys know, I guess. But hey, why am I not prestiging in Black Ops 4 anymore? Despite showing you guys that I can have fun in the game, despite the game's terrible business practices, terribly overpriced micro DLC, a horrible upfront cost, and a horrible season pass cost, and just an all-around shitty amount of support and communication from the developers, and the absence of a campaign, and most of the dev time seemingly going to blackout because that's all the rage, and I have a lot of things to say, not many of them nice, it seems. Anyway, I can have fun in the game despite all of my problems with it, and even if it's just the intrinsic balance of the guns in the game, but whatever. The thing is that I can't forgive is that on top of all this shitty micro DLC and all of this crappy tier grinding, which I once defended, mind you, I have no room to defend it anymore. It's gotten ridiculous. It's just way too much required playtime to get weapons, and there's just so much micro DLC piled on top of it. It's just not consumer friendly. It's not player friendly. To all the people that I laughed at for saying in Treyarch we trust, this is why. Whatever Treyarch and Activision have set up, I don't know. Whatever you hear from YouTubers or developers, just kind of assume it's bullshit and just go by what we're observing. Every time a Treyarch game comes out, it is always handled terribly post-launch, and it's always the most anti-consumer COD of the bunch. Not saying they're not fun or playable, and I'm not saying you can't just enjoy it while ignoring all of the stupid bullshit. You totally can, and I urge you to. If you're enjoying it, please ignore the bullshit. But it feels like every 3 years, Treyarch's like, okay, rinse due, you need to fucking pay your dues, Call of Duty community, and it's always gross because it's always like preceded with, oh, in Treyarch we trust, and then it always ends with, good lord, that was terrible. I can't wait to see what Infinity Ward does so we can laugh at it no matter how much better it is. I'm getting off topic. Either way, I'm not prestiging anymore because with all of this shit they're trying to get you to either grind a ridiculous amount of time for or spend a ridiculous amount of money on, they didn't provide any prestige rewards. And this makes me very mad. If you want to call creative class slots a prestige reward, see yourself off my channel. Infinite Warfare made it so every other prestige gave you something different. One prestige would give you a gun, and then the next one a slot. Gun, slot, gun, slot. Now I think every prestige should have given you a gun and a slot, but whatever. When you look at the COD franchise, you can see where they kind of test the waters as to what people are going to pay for. Like during Infinite Warfare's life cycle, getting into Call of Duty World War II's life cycle, Black Ops 3 had a bunch of like shitty micro DLC added where you had to spend COD points for contracts, and then those contracts would give you gear sets, which is just cringe. You spend real money for a contract. At the same time, Infinite Warfare was giving people that don't own the Season Pass in Infinite Warfare free contracts to unlock actual weapons that affect gameplay. And those guns weren't just like callbacks to the past, they were interesting guns like 3-round burst SMGs with EMP grenade launchers, LMGs with smoke grenade launchers, hybrid weapons, a sniper shotgun, a lever action shotgun, a 44 Magnum, a railgun. There was lots of crazy shit. I wish I had some gameplay of it, but unfortunately you just have gameplay of this. Either way, you can see when they test the waters, and similarly, you can see when the Call of Duty community gets ambivalent, and unfortunately, I have been on the more positive side of things. I've been trying to be a little bit more uplifting. I've been trying to be a little bit more not doomsday-y. There's lots of YouTubers out there that are trying to tell you that Activision is trying to brainwash your children, kill all your brain cells, and kill your grandchildren's brain cells, and rule the world and destroy gaming as we know it. And they're super dramatic about it. But as I see YouTubers and players becoming kind of like more and more okay with this, I am a little concerned as to what is going to happen with Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer COD games. I already have kind of written off Treyarch ones because Black Ops 3 is fool me once and Black Ops 4 is fuck my ass. Again, gameplay-wise and everything else around it are two different things. What I mean by that is how the game is handled post-launch and how you like to play the game with your friends or by yourself or chilling to music or watching TV. Those are two different things. Don't like mix those up. Like, hey, the game's fine just because you enjoy playing team deathmatch in it. I can enjoy a free-for-all in Black Ops 4. I don't think it's fine. It's an unfortunate system because whenever I'm playing the game, I feel ambivalent towards all of the problems, and I feel dirty for being ambivalent towards them, and it drives me away from the game because I'm mad at other YouTubers when they're just like, game's fine, I can afford it, or I can afford the time to grind for all this stuff, and I don't care what they do, I'm having fun. Like, that pisses me off, and then when I sit and play it and have fun, I'm thinking, am I any better? It's a conundrum. Either way. I'm not prestiging because there's no fucking rewards. Every Call of Duty, from this point forward, I do declare, should have a requirement for prestige-only weapons. And they don't even have to be good, because if you're worried about somebody has more playtime, more time to play than you do, getting these guns, I understand that, I guess. And I guess it is a kind of an unreasonable amount of grinding to some people. But prestiging just happens as you play. Each thing you do brings you closer to your next level. It's not a shitty tier system where it just takes in like some of your playtime. No. If you do well, you level up. If you play the right game modes, you level up. You get headshots, you level up. You get camos, you level up. It's all about what you're willing to put into it. It's all about your goddamn effort. It's so delicious when it works. When that effort is not given a reward, it's awful. Like a bad relationship, when your significant other does something nice for you and you don't reciprocate at all. And I don't mean like you owe them something or they owe you something. I mean like you don't reward it in subtle and kind ways. By the way, that's how relationships ought to work. You have to kind of do, you know what I'm saying? Like you in your daily life require some sort of positive reinforcement. Even if you have a shitty job that you hate all your coworkers and your boss, if you're still getting a paycheck, there's your positive reinforcement to go back to the hellhole each day. Video games require this type of incentive because you're not getting paid to play them, at least most people aren't. I barely get paid to play them. I get paid to make the videos about them. That's where I get my money, but I don't even get paid to just sit and play. Not everything I do in my games just equals money, unfortunately. God, I wish it did. But you paid for a machine to play the game, whether it's a console or a PC, even if it's a fucking mobile phone, I don't care. You paid for the device, you paid for the game, you paid for probably equipment to enhance your game like headsets, cooler controllers, control freaks, gamer fuel, I don't know. And when you sit down and put in hours and the game just gives you little dribbly drops of content and puts a big ol' fucking price tag on everything you'd like to see in your inventory, that's frustrating. Then you don't feel like a valued customer, similar to how I felt during Infinite Warfare, which is, I worded that wrong. I feel like a valued customer in Infinite Warfare, because even though I was kind of tired of that style of Call of Duty, a lot of things kept me coming back. And that's what being a valued customer is all about, is the company going, hey, come back and play me, look, I have something for you. You will be rewarded for the money you've spent and the time you're putting in, and that feels good. Black Ops 4 doesn't earn my grind, my prestiging, because it's not going to give me a Galil, an M1 Garand. It's not going to give me an AK-47. It's not going to give me an M16. It's not going to give me an old-fashioned 1911. It's not going to give me something fun to play with, something that shows my time in the game. And it's such a humble fucking request. These are video games that take my real-life human time, and all I'm asking in return is for some digital firearms to shoot more people with. See what I'm saying? Like, this is my human time, this is my human life, and my humble request is, hey, if I level up and prestige, can I get a classic gun? Like the AUG or the Stoner? Can I get the M8A1? Can I get the AN94? Can I get the Peacekeeper? That is such a humble request. Yeah, I'm calling my own request humble. That's how humble the request is. And there's nothing to incentivize me to prestige any further in Black Ops 4. I could also get into the fact that who needs more credit class slots when There's only like a handful of guns I want to use because there's a handful of guns that negate the longer time to kill. I'm gonna say this. I like the longer time to kill in Black Ops 4. It doesn't make sense to have guns that negate it, or that are so easy to use that you're just getting framed by them by any random noob. Titan, Augur, VKM, really any of the LMGs, the Augur, the Rampart. Of course, these require the proper configurations, but I don't need to make my point any further. I'm done with that. I've already made videos on that shit. I'm done. Don't get me started on specialists and all the micro DLC and all the crap. It's so dystopian to load up the black market and just see COD points on everything. It's like, hey, we want to spend COD points here. You want to spend COD points here. Hard-earned money. That paycheck, give it to me. Do I play as the replacer in Blackout? Is that kind of fun to you? Well, pay the fuck up. Like, that shit is just so disturbing. Because the alternative is an incredible amount of grinding. It's just playing. You're just mindlessly playing. And your skill isn't taken into account. It's so embarrassing. So yeah, that's why I'm not prestiging in Black Ops 4. Because there's no reason to. I don't care. As fun as the gameplay can be, and that's why I reuse this gameplay, is because if you guys watched my last video, you saw me having some genuine fun. It's such a shame because it shows that they're talented developers that don't care enough to right their mistakes and be nice to their players. And that sucks. See you when I see you. Goodbye.